Which RPG do you enjoy using as is? This is an odd question to me. Using as is. Does that mean only the rules that are written in stone? Or if there are options, you don't use options? Or does it mean you just use it as it's meant to be used? For instance, if you look at a game like Burning Wheel is literally meant to be, the rules are meant to be followed by the letter. It is what I would call a prescribed experience. If you are not following the rules as they are specifically written in the way that they're written, you're kind of not really playing Burning Wheel. On the other hand, you've got Fate Core and Savage Worlds, which by their design are meant to be tweaked before you play. Savage Worlds, you are meant to apply setting rules, create professional edges. If you're someone who uses powers, let's say you're a spellcaster, you are supposed to apply trappings to your powers, which can modify the mechanics of how those powers work. And this is using the rules as is. Fate Core, you are meant to come up with a skill list, not necessarily use the one that is provided by default. You are meant to, each player is meant to write their own stunts. The stunts in the book are actually suggestions and, frankly, a little vanilla. So, and there's extras. Again, you're actually coming up with, if there's magic in your Fate Core game, you're coming up with a whole magic system. There are ones written in there, but again, these are suggestions. So as is kind of a loaded question. And maybe that's the intention. I don't know. So for this question, here's how I'm going to choose to answer it. I will answer it in multiple ways so I can cover it. I will answer which RPG that as is to sort of design your game around your setting. And obviously for that I'm going to choose Savage Worlds because of yesterday's question. As is to apply a setting. And if I want to go a step further, I'd have to say add a setting to Savage Worlds. Which setting do I like to use as is with Savage Worlds? I would probably... Now this is a tough one because there are a lot of amazing settings in Savage Worlds. My favorite for a long time was Deadlands, and another favorite has been Rippers. ETU is amazing. Marchland is good, but to be fair, if you look at the setting and the core rules of Savage Worlds together as one game rules is written, I don't run Marchland as is. So Marchland would not actually apply. See how this is an odd question. Anyway, so my answer for Savage Worlds then would be probably Rippers. I like that the magic is close to the core rules. I like that I love the setting of Rippers as is. So if I need to add that specificity, I'd say Rippers. Now, which single book would I pick up, read through the setting and the rules, and run it as is? Well, that's a tie. Sorry. It's a three-way tie. And you're just going to have to forgive me for that. But as a three-way tie, I'd have to say Hollow Earth Expedition, because it's a phenomenal pulp game, pulp adventure, and has so much possibility for what you can do with it. Icons. I love rolling up characters and having the players roll up characters and make them work and be interesting. And Supers games lend themselves really well to just say, pick a city and that's where you are. Or invent a city on the fly. I once played through an entire campaign of a Supers game where we never named the city and we just called it the city. And there were jokes that came up like, the college was the University of State, the city, that kind of thing. It just became a goofy joke. So, Icons for sure. And Dungeon Crawl Classics. Dungeon Crawl Classics lends itself very well to playing as written. Which is funny because it's an OSR game, which is, very much a DIY environment. The OSR is very much a DIY environment. But I like to run it as written. I like to grab a Dungeon Crawl Classics module and make up characters. And heck, if there's 0 level characters, I just use the generator that's available on Purple Sorcerer and just go with that. It's Dungeon Crawl Classics funnels are the RPG equivalent of a party game. That's what I tell people. So, I think that's my answer. And that's a lot of answers, and I apologize for that, but it is what it is. It's a tough thing when you're, and I'm going to coin a term. I'm not going to coin a term. I'm going to repeat a term that I heard coined by my friends on Misdirected Mark, I believe. And that would be, I am polygamorous. So, anyway, that's it for me today. Until tomorrow, do good, avoid evil, play more games.